Hi there, I'm just going to show you another little trick about turning these hands and fingers. When you iron your freezer paper pattern onto the material, make sure you've got the most stretch going across. There's very little stretch in some of this material, but what it needs to be is going across the hand. Otherwise you won't be able to turn these fingers. Your stitching line is going to be right butted up against the freezer paper, but on the doll velour, okay? When you come round the fingers, you come round and do 2 little stitches at the base of each finger across. You don't go back and forth like I just did, you just go 2 stitches across. If you go down to a V, you won't be able to cut your fingers out, they'll come out claw-like. So you've got to do those 2 stitches across, okay? I've sewn this finger. It pays to take off your pattern before you cut out so you can see your stitching, and you're cutting it out really close to the stitching without cutting your stitching, of course, but you're cutting it out really close because this is a thin thing to turn later, okay? And when you go around these fingers, I don't know whether you can see this very well, you have to cut right down to those 2 stitches. Don't cut the stitches, but cut right down. So you need sharp scissors and you need small scissors that will cut right down to those 2 pieces across the base of the finger, okay? So once you've cut your finger out, you get your turning tool, you put the tube part up into one finger. I'm doing the thumb. The thumb is always the hardest to do because the stretch is not the same. The stretch goes across in the fingers but not in the thumb. I always say to people, put it up to the end of the thumb, anchor it in your belly button and push your fabric up your tube. If you try and push your tube, if you try and push your fabric down into your tube, it won't work. So you push it up the tube. So you turn each finger at a time, one at a time. Haven't quite got it in my belly button, but never mind. Until you've got all the fingers turned into the hand. Then you take out your tube, and it pays for a little finger to get something like your rod, and just start turning it down. You just have to be really careful turning it over the wrist on some of the dolls. But this is how you turn out the fingers, so that they turn out like that. Now another little trick to get, I've got a split there, but I'm not even going to worry about that. I'll sew it up by hand later. So another little trick to get these chenille sticks into your hand, you put them down your turning tube like that, just so that they come out of the end. Oh, this one's got an end in it. So it just comes out that far, and then you turn it over. You must turn that over because otherwise the sharp wire will stick into each, stick out. So you've got that, and you put it up to the finger, hold on to that bit you've turned over and pull out your tube. I'll show you again. The chenille sticks have got a bit of a nap on them, so it pays to turn it round so you've got the easiest part. Oops. Bend over that bit and go right up to the end of the finger. Okay? So when you've got 5 in there, that gives you the fingers, and you can bend them down. I usually put a little bit of stuffing in there and a little bit of stuffing around the wires, the chenille sticks. When I've got them all and I twist them together, I push the fabric down and I twist all the pipe cleaners together so they're like a bone in her arm or his arm. And then all you need is a little wee bit of stuffing there, and you may need a little bit at the elbow. Don't overstuff your hands so they're sort of podgy. Just make them into a nice little hand so you can bend it and she can hold something or anything. Okay, so I hope that's a help for you. Catch you later. Bye.